All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Seeing Light Through Darkness. I'm your host, Kylan, better known as Kai. And with me this evening, I have Miss Monisha, aka Mo. Miss
Hello.
hello. So Miss Tia could not be with us this evening. Something came up, but we will definitely miss her, and she will be joining us on our next show. But before we begin, I want to let all the listeners know where they can follow this podcast, Seeing Light Through Darkness. You can follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. So just look for Seeing Light Through Darkness by My Mental Space. And you can also find us on Facebook at My Mental Space, as well as Instagram and Twitter at My Mental Space 21. That's the number 2 and 1. And last but not least, on YouTube at My Mental Space. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest content. All right, Mo. So, we have been discussing Breaking Points Exposed. Right?
Yep.
And let's see. We were just kind of telling our little stories throughout our lifetime, which the breaking points throughout our lifetime, and how it affected us, how we just processed what we were going through, how we got through it, and then the lessons that we learned from it, right? Okay, so let's see, I think you were talking about there was a court situation that you were dealing with your stepdaughter's mom, right?
Yes.
So take us back to that point. Just recap from that point and what happened from there, basically.
Okay, so just a quick recap on that. The kids were in our life. Then, because me and my now husband was to get married, she decided to tell this big fabricated story that her own mother had passed away, just so the kids wouldn't be in our wedding. Then the kids came up basically missing for like a little over a year. Then boom, all of a sudden, called out the blue, somebody's trying to take the kids away from me. Then we get down to the courtroom. The guy that was taking her to court was there with his wife. And we see her. We're just like, oh, man, we can't believe this is basically happening. What's going on? We didn't know. And so all of a sudden, we see the guy that took her to court to basically get custody of the kids come running out of the courtroom. And I think that's where I ended. So let me just go ahead and pick the story up.
Yeah, I remember that part.
All right. So the guy comes out of the courtroom, kind of walking real fast in tears. And we're just looking like, what's going on? When I say me and my current husband were just looking like, what happened?
Right.
So we looking, and then all of a sudden we see the EMT come rush past us with a stretcher, and she is pregnant at the time. When I say she, I'm talking about my step kid's mother was pregnant at the time, and she gets whisked away past us on a gurney.
Not whisked away.
Yes, just, super fast. And so we're like, what's happening? So we caught the glimpse of the dude, and I'm like, yo, go and talk to him and, find out what's really going on. So then we go and we catch up with the guy, and the guy was just like, yeah, I found out that that the kids weren't my kids. I've been told for all 13 years, so I want to make sure I be exact on this because that's very important.
Wait.
For 13 years.
Hold on. Okay, wait a minute.
Yes.
See,
go ahead and digest that one.
So see, now I have questions, okay? The guy, she told the other guy who was supposedly the children's father, your stepdaughter. He was told that he was their father.
Yeah.
For 13 years.
13 years.
So he had been taking care of them?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Financially, whatever. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the guy was just like, I'm broken up as, he should be, broken up, emotionally. He's crying.
Right.
He was just like, I can't believe it. And so my husband was like, well, no, they're my kids. And then the guy was like, well, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, I got the paternity test done, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, okay, well, are you sure both of them are yours? And then my husband was like, yeah, I got the test. And then the guy just really lost it from there. Like, can't believe it. Been told this all these years. And then the guy's wife was there. She was in just disbelief. Like, what? Because
recording in progress.
Okay, because she was, believing the same thing. She didn't have any reason to doubt it or whatever because that's just what has been told. So, as we're standing there talking and, trying to clear the air and get some understanding about what's going on, he goes, the kid's mama calling my phone like crazy. Calling my phone. So I answered the phone. I was like, what's up? She was like, oh, yeah. Where y'all at? And I was like, we at the courtroom. We still in the courtroom. She was like, are y'all talking to him? And we was like, no, we ain't talking to him. She was like, yeah, the judge was asking him if he crazy, if he got mental problems. Why would he be in the courtroom asking for paternity of kids that ain't kids? All kind of stuff. Then she was like, y'all sure y'all didn't say nothing to him? Nothing at all. No, we ain't saying nothing to him. But mind you, I'm standing right in front of the dude the whole time. Saying this on the phone to her while she's trying to figure out what we're doing. She's playing recon, basically. Recon. Right. Okay, what they talking about? What they talking about? Right? So that's what she basically doing the recon. So I'm playing it out the whole time, like, nah, he ain't here. We don't know nothing. Da, da, da. And so she holding on to her story, like, oh, he crazy. They told him he crazy, and who tries to take kids that don't belong to you? All this kind of stuff. This is what she's saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So
now is she in the hospital?
yes. She in the
Okay.
hospital because she had to find a way to get out of there. But she knows she couldn't walk out of there. Because that wife would have probably tore her up.
Oh.
That wife probably would have whooped her up.
Mm.
She didn't want to face the music because all her past, all her lives was standing in one room. We all standing in one room. She would have been cornered.
Wow.
We were all there. I was there. My husband was there. The other guy was there. And his wife was there. So she would have been cornered. So she had to think smart on her feet and get out of there.
So she had you, your husband,
Mm-hmm.
the guy, and his wife.
Yep. All there.
And at that
All at
point,
one time.
your husband knew that he was the father?
Well, he had already knew already.
So
He knew years ago.
So look, so I have another question about the 13-year thing.
Right.
Where was so your husband? Okay, so the other guy who's thinking for 13 years that these are his kids, his daughters.
I'm gonna see if you're gonna fill in the blank without me telling you. Go ahead.
I don't know, Mo. I don't know if I can fill in the blank on this one. Okay, but I'm gonna try.
Go ahead.
Okay. If you're thinking you're someone's parent for 13 years and another individual knows that he is the parent, what, no run-ins happened within 13 years? I'm
Absolutely not. So let me tell you how that was played. So you ready for how that
talking
was
about filling the
played?
blank. How I'm supposed to fill in the blank with that? Go ahead.
I thought you was gonna ask the golden question because I said, me personally, I said he's stupid. That's what I said. Honestly, that's what I said. I was like, he's dumb. But how did they never run each other? Because we lived on the whole other side of town. It would have never happened. Would have never happened. So she would set it up. This is how she would set it up. And
It's crazy.
I personally don't, really go for this. But when people be like, oh, godparents this and godparents that, that's not my thing. I really wasn't raised like that or whatever.
Right.
So that's just not my thing, right? But people are, legit raised like that. That's just what they do, right? So, not to knock that, but that's just what people do. So, the dude was told for all this long time that their dad was their goddaddy. And then vice versa. Their daddy was told that this dude was their goddaddy. Make you be like, what? What? You can go ahead and ask and be like, what? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that is so, I don't even know what to call it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. That's, to me, yeah, that's something mentally going on.
It's called, and the way that I look at it as, it's called don't care. I see the kids when I want to see them. I'm going to still live my life. So whatever she say, all right, okay, cool. That's what it's called. Because a real parent would be like, God, daddy, you letting my kids go over to another nigga house? Who the is this dude? So that's what that is. But I always had an inkling that it was some BS behind this guy daddy foolishness. I always said it.
Oh boy.
I always called it out. I always said it. I was just like, something ain't right with that. Something ain't right with that. Something ain't right with that. I'm like, you just letting your kids go over to another man's house that's not their dad? I was like, something ain't right about that. So I've always spoke up and said, I guarantee you she got these kids calling somebody else daddy. I've always said it. I always said it. And then the truth all came out. The truth came out. Truth was out. She was exposed. She knew she was exposed. So she had to do some recon very quickly on that.
And so what happened from there? Like, did she end up, I mean, as far as, okay, so she was in the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How long was she there? How did she get out of that?
She was in for a couple of hours. Wasn't nothing wrong with her. She pretended like she was going in labor.
Oh man.
Nothing was wrong with her. The girl is quick on her feet. When you're a habitual liar, you quick on your feet. But you quick on your feet, but you're not thinking that ain't nobody else paying attention to what you're talking about. But see, me who being I am, I'm listening. I'm not just going with the flow. I'm listening. Stuff don't add up because I'm paying attention to you. I'm investigating. I'm always listening because I don't believe to begin with. So I'm listening. So she was in there for about a couple of hours and she got released. She got released and instantly cut ties with the dude. It's so crazy. Instantly.
Okay. So she has gotten exposed. She has cut ties with the other man who was thinking he was the father for 13 years of these girls. So where does life go after that?
So after that, same BS or whatever, never admitted up to what she's done, but somehow in her mind was like, oh yeah, I apologize for all that stuff, but never once did we ever really receive a real apology for all of the stuff, whatever. But honestly, I didn't need it because I can see you for who you are, and I've been seeing you for who you are. I'm good. Okay. So now, the kids are around or whatever because she was going through that. She needs support with the kids or whatever. So, now they're around. They're big at this point. They're big. Like, you just can't snatch them away at this point because they're big. Mm-hmm. They know how to use a phone. They know how to contact. They're big. So you can't pull that. I'm going to keep you away from your dad and you won't see him for months or years. You can't do that no more, right? Because they big. So now they're around. Okay, cool, whatever. Still not really trusting you. Really, my wall is up for my own personal. It's up. Like, okay, your kids is here, that's cool, whatever. But for my own personal, like I can't build that bond like it was because I don't know the next move. I don't trust you because you always up to something.
Yeah.
So I don't trust you, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you can't snatch your kids and be gone, and from parents having influence on children, which you do because it's your parents or whatever. You will go with the flow for whatever period of time until you be like, okay, you know what? No, I'm not with this no more. I'm gonna go, and I know what's right and I know what's wrong. So can't really build that relationship up or whatever. They hear, but that's kind of still like a wall of situation or whatever. Because at this point, I got my own child at this point or whatever. So it's like it's just not y'all no more. Like I got my own child, which that's always gonna be a connection there with my own child. So going through the years, and to sum up my story, we just gonna jump all the way into years later, about a good 5 years later, and this is really where it came to a breaking point where I said, that's it, I'm done. All right. So COVID hit 2019, COVID is well and alive. One of the kids made it to college. She's at college.
2020.
Whatever.
This is 2020.
2020. Okay, yeah. 2020. All right. So 2020 in college. Got a call in the middle of the night, probably about like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And everybody know that's my bedtime. What are you calling me? It best be a damn emergency. Okay. So they got my sister to call me because I know I don't answer no calls. I see their numbers and I won't answer the phone. Like whatever you got to tell me, it can wait till tomorrow. So my sister called me. She got through because my sister's on the get through list on my phone because everybody else is blocked. You cannot call me. But she got a call. I was like, what? So then I heard them on a three-way and it triggered me instantly. I'm talking about like I triggered, like I just didn't think what was coming out of my mouth. No, nothing. I instantly got triggered. The conversation immediately was, hey, what you doing? You need to get up and go get your child because they're releasing everybody because of COVID. This is at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Who is saying you need to get up and go get your child?
This is the kid's mother.
The kid's mom is telling you that?
She's telling their dad that, like, because I'm on speakerphone.
Oh, okay.
It was like, where is he at? And I was like, he's right here. Where else would he be at? Like, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'm confused. And then it was like, they got COVID down there.
Nothing. I'm just tripping on you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They got COVID down there. You need to get up right now and go get her because they making everybody leave campus. So my instant response was, no, you can go get her because we just took her down there for school and pay for everything. He ain't got no money. Do you got the money to go pick her up? That was my response. It instantly triggered me because, first of all, you calling me with a panic at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, talking about somebody need to jump up immediately right then in that hour to go pick somebody up, as if somebody was in the hospital dying, bleeding, car accident, leg cut off, whatever. But the child is fine. They're fine because they're locked in their dorms. They can't go anywhere. They're fine. So it triggered me.
Right.
So I said what I said. And, he responded, wait, no, I'm not going tonight. I'll go get her tomorrow, work it out, whatever. So after my response, when I was like, do you have money for, rent a car to get her back up here? Because we just took her in August and we pay for everything. Not the mama. She ain't contributing nothing. We pay for everything to get her down there. Okay. So the next day, and here's my breaking point. The next day, I get text messages from the child that's in college, right? Not the next day. I'm going to say within a week, not the next day. I get messages, screenshots, messages that her mom is messaging her, which to me was childish and petty anyways, because that is your daughter, your child to begin with. Why are you acting like that's your best friend? Why are you acting like that's your homegirl? Because it's not your child. Okay. So I get all these screenshots. F Monisha.
What?
I want to F her up right now. Who the F she thinks she's talking to?
Wait a minute.
She don't know me like. Okay.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Go ahead and get your questions together. Yes.
Yeah, hold on, because wait. Did you say the daughter was sending you screenshots of what her mom was saying, though, with the F-bombs and everything going through?
Yes.
She sent that to her daughter?
Yes.
She's talking like that? The mother is talking like that to her daughter about you?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So,
keep going.
She's sending me the screenshots, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, it's no need for me to engage you, because the issue is not with you, child. The issue is with your mother. So let me engage your mother, because I'm not about to be sending text messages back and forth with you.
Right, you're a child.
Let me send it to the person who has a problem with me. Okay. So I text back, I got your message. You want to F me up? You know where I live at. You know my address. You've been to my house plenty of times. You can holler at me if you need to. If you got a problem with anything that I said that you may have felt was disrespectful, out of line, or whatever, you can call me and talk to me like an adult. I left it at that. I'm like, I'm done. You literally crossed the line. You want to do what now? You want to F me up? You want to do this? You want to do that? But mind you, since your children were 1 and 2 years old, I was your baby daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was your baby daddy.
Yeah, the stepmom acting like the baby daddy, going to pick them up, doing all of that. And this was after you didn't even know about them. All the just not telling what the deal is, like all the way, like starting from the beginning. And you still, it's like they were your kids. You put energy into them like time, they were your kids.
Money and energy.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
And at that point, when I saw all those messages or whatever,
tough.
I was like I'm done. I'm done. There's nothing that you can say to me. I'm done. It's a wrap. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done. Because you got that much of a problem with me about something that I said, I can say what I want to say. Now, if you feel a certain kind of way, then you address it. But at the end of the day, I can say what I want to say and how I want to say it. So that to me, what kills me about people who figure that you shouldn't say this or say that. So people say what they want to say to you. Now it's about how you're going to address it.
Yeah.
How are you going to address it? Now, if it bothers you, fucking address it. Oh, excuse me. Address it like an adult. If it's something about, because me personally, I would address something in a minute. It's plenty of times that I've addressed things that she said, things that she's done. I've addressed her about it because that's who I am. I'm not finna just let it go. I'm going to address the situation because that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But for you to take that to your children that I helped you raise out of kindness of my heart when it was never asked of me, I helped you raise. And then you like, oh, you know, don't talk to her, and if y'all living in my house, y'all better not talk to her, and don't ask her for nothing. If y'all feel like y'all need to talk to her, then y'all need to go live with her, playing the guilt trip. Now, this is your mom telling you stuff like this. Everybody wants to honor their mother and their father. Like, that's just a natural thing. You always want to please your parents. You want to make your parents happy. It's a natural thing. So for her to say that to them, they was really feeling like they had to choose, and it was tearing them up. It was tearing them up. So once again, my walls is up. Again, my walls is up. My child is my priority, not y'all no more. Because again, of your mother. So with all of that, I was done. And when I said I was done, I meant exactly what I said. I'm done. And mind you, before then, me and Miss Grace would talk all the time. All the time. She would call me up, we would talk, whatever. It would be nothing. Talk. Mm-hmm. But after that, you've crossed the line. You can be mad all day long. But when you tell your kids that I helped you raise, don't rock with me no more. Don't talk to her. Don't ask her nothing. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't talk to her in my house on the phone. We're done. We're done.
And this is after you put, like you said, time, energy, money, all kind of effort into them. And I'm just speaking. I'm getting technical, so not trying to, step on anyone's toes or make anyone feel uncomfortable with certain things that are said. That's why I'm putting that disclaimer out there. I'm getting technical. After that money, time, energy to kids who are not
mine.
Biologically yours, while at the same time you have a younger child in the home with you, and so who is your biological child. And so after when that happened, Mo, did you feel like all of the time, money, energy, and efforts that you put into the girls, did you feel like that took away from your biological child? Like it was like you're and I'm not trying to say because a lot, the world today, we have blended families. We have a blended family, so not to say that you don't love them like they're your own or anything. It's just in your situation, it's for me, it just sounds like and feels like you were just thrown into a situation. Although you had a choice. Now you did have a choice.
I had a choice.
Nobody put a gun to your head. Nobody made you say, he didn't say you gotta be with me right now, or none of that happened. Right. But and I think everyone and a lot of people can feel me on this. It's like when when feelings start getting involved, love starts getting involved, it's not easy to pull away like that. And so you're taking everything that comes with it, which was a bold, brave move, because this wasn't a situation where, hey, okay, let's just say you didn't know about the kids at first. Okay, we'll keep that piece, right? We'll keep that part of the story, right? You didn't know. Okay. You go through whatever, you find out about it, deal with that, and you're like, all right, you know what? Okay. And so we go from there. And things are just pretty much you're normal. I mean, every family, everything, everybody has ups and downs, good times, bad times, da da da. That's normal. That's what I mean about normal. But in your situation, it was like, okay, I didn't know about them. I feel like I'm forced because I feel like I'm in too deep, you know, with my feelings, this relationship. I'm taking everything, and not only am I taking on and saying, okay, I am going to be a stepmother to these kids, because you were even having them planned to have them in the wedding, you know. And then you take me through this. You lie saying your mom, I didn't know about them. I want them to be in the wedding. You go missing MIA for a year or more, you know, and then you're putting just such, I can't even, it just, you're saying your mom, you're spreading this lie about, you know, your mom, you know, passing away, and she's still much alive at this point. And it's like, then now we're in this court situation. I'm trying to help, you know, you're just not, I feel like you're using and abusing me, and I keep running because I keep thinking about those kids. But now you put me in a situation, you know, currently, you know, where you left off. It's like you're sending, first of all, you're talking and sending text messages to your daughter like she's one of your friends or another grown woman. I didn't get that piece either. You know, and not only am I mentally and emotionally starting to go down, your children are now feeling the same way. And at the same time, I feel like the energy and the time and the money that I put into this situation, you know, trying to be a stepmom and saying, hey, I'm going to love them like they were my own, has really taken away from, you know, my biological child. Like, I just took on all this mess, and I'm only speaking technical, like in a mental form, you know, not, you know, I'm not trying to say they're not worthy or anything or whatever we want to say. I'm not saying that at all, but technically, mentally, it's like, you're saying to yourself, oh my God, you know, why did I put myself in this situation? Why? Well, we know why. Like I said, you saw it was the focus was on the girls. But then when you sit, you know, you just sitting back and you're like, oh my God, like I was splitting. I decided to say, hey, because when you have multiple kids, you know, all focus isn't just on one child. You got this child, this child, this child, and this child, and that's hard. And it's like, wait, now I feel like I have done my biological child some disservice here. Like, I done shorted him, you know, and then I'm mentally and emotionally scarred at this point. Like, I mean, like, that's how I'm feeling for you, and that's how it sounds like for me. So, I mean, what is that?
So, like, after, like, that whole little text message situation and all of that or whatever, it was like you said, it was just like, basically, you was out to use me, because in all honesty, this is how you really felt. So now you got the first opportunity to say it, but this is where you really been feeling this whole time. You got the first opportunity to say it. So to me, it was like a slap in the face. Like I said, really saw you for who you were. I'm just waiting for you to say it. And now you saw me for who I really am, but you felt it. I didn't have to say nothing. You felt it. And when I say she felt it, she felt it. Because you crossed the line, and you crossed the line, I can't deal with you. Especially when I have been nothing but, and like I told her in a message, I treated you nothing but like family when I didn't have to. You, personally, in addition to your kids, I treated you like family when I didn't have to. I'm done. Done. And I made a conscious decision at that moment that I was done. Because you crossed the line. Like I said, you can be mad. You can be mad and be like, that was messed up, how she talked to me, You could even call me on the phone like, yo, that was messed up. You could have said your piece to me on the phone. But to tell your kids, don't mess with her, don't talk to her, don't ask her nothing, y'all. You can't go over there. If you go over there, you stay there, I'm gonna block you. All kinds of stuff. And it's making the kids feel real torn. Like they really like you playing emotionally on your kids, and for what? So, I mean, honestly, like this whole situation, I was just dragged along with it. And sometimes I really be feeling like I never got an option to say no. I never got the opportunity to say no. That's how we feeling sometimes. Like it was never giving me the opportunity to be like, no, I don't want to deal with what you got going on. Everything is just happening. Everything is just happening. Everything's just moving. So that was my ultimate after 18 years, that was my breaking point. I'm done. Finished. Don't call me no more. Don't text me. Keep me blocked if that's what it's going to take. No communication with me at all. Period. I'm done. That's 18 years.
Wow.
Yep. I was done.
Yeah.
And now today, I'm done.
So how do you handle it?
Call me and talk to me about nothing.
How do you handle it now? Like, how do you keep yourself in check? Keep your, with that situation, how do you not allow yourself to fall back into it? Because I know they're older now.
And when I say there's absolutely nothing that could take me back to opening up them lines of communication with their mother. Nothing. I'm sorry. Like, she could literally be in a hospital where that she's not doing well. There's absolutely zero that can open that line of communication up. Like, I'll feel bad for her. Be like, man, y'all really need to make sure your mom is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, don't get me wrong. I always be like, yo, spend time with your mama.
Yeah.
Call your mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say that because I'm not going to talk bad about your mama because that's your mama. I would never tell you, don't talk to your mom because this and that and the third. It's my decision. I'm just not going to talk to her. I'm just not going to deal with her. But I'm always pushing, like, make sure you talk to your mama. Make sure, y'all wrong for that. Don't be talking to your mama like that. Don't kill them attitudes towards your mama because it's not cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just not going to deal with her. Me. It's just me. I can't. I can't. And I'm not. I'm not. So that was it took 18 years when I really sit and think about it. And because when she disappeared, when we found out, when she disappeared, and I found out that, the mama wasn't really dead, I was
that right there.
Open a whole mess. That right there, I was just like, you know what? I see you for who you are. I can't trust anything that you tell me. I can't trust nothing that you tell me. And so I opened the lines of communication up. But still, I can't trust you. But this last situation where you telling the kids that's just where you cross the line, where you tell your kids don't talk to Monisha. Don't ask her nothing. If you in my house, you better not be talking to her on the phone. As soon as she walk in, and like, oh, we gotta go. Like, I felt like I was the side chick.
What?
Yeah, you know how like people be creeping and stuff, and like, oh, I gotta go, because you know my dude here or my chick here, I gotta go, and then her hang up. That's how that was happening. I was like, I'm good, because I would never make y'all feel that way, and I could have made them feel that way if I really wanted to. Like, because I did so much for them that their mother wasn't doing and stuff like that, and they saw like, you know, a different life. I really could have made them feel like, you know, my mom is trash, I want to be over here. But I never, ever, ever once talked down about their mother in front of them. Never. If anything, I always uplift her, like, oh, well, you know, she doing the best that she can, or, you know, that's just how she grew up, so that's how she knows how to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, I've always encouraged her. But I could have been a person where I could have been like real nasty and been talking trash about their mom or whatever, where they could have, you know, pulled away from their mother and not really want to deal with her because of the different stuff that she's done. I've never done that. Never. So for her to do it to me, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah.
I get it. I definitely get that. That's crazy. You know, people, you know, and not discrediting, you know, any type of, you know, issues people are going through mentally at all. You know, this is why I started the podcast anyway, to talk about these things and let people know that they're not alone in these situations. Like this, like everybody is going through stuff, like for real.
Yeah,
you know,
for real.
I know the last time we were talking, I was telling you all about the abuse and being stalked and all of that, you know, from my first child's father, and it was like, it's like you living in a twilight zone. You like, why is this happening to me? And you know, how do I, you know, in my situation, it was like, how do I not get killed?
Yeah.
You know, and so actually, after that situation, oh God, this is, whew, I feel heavy just off of your situation and thinking about how those girls were feeling, and it's making me, I mean, I'm just being honest, it's making me feel heavy, and it's bringing, you know, it brings back, you know, we don't forget the things that we go through, and sometimes, you know, you might shed a little tear. You might think about it like when you're just having time, and then, you know, you just get over it and move on, you know, because it doesn't really affect you like it did when it was fresh. But sometimes you might be like, oh, dang, because it's like you feeling bad for yourself. Like you looking, you know, it's like you're having like you're stepping out of yourself for a minute and just looking at yourself as just another individual, and like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know I was telling you guys about how my oldest child's father, he, you know, was breaking into the apartment, you know, having me followed, stalking, and doing all kind of just weird things. And I know I was telling you all that I had finally gotten to a place where I just had to make a decision that he couldn't even be a part. Like, I wanted him to be a part of her life, but he left me no choice. You know, with me trying, and then when she got old enough to talk, 3 or 4 years old, saying, hey, I don't want to go over there. It smells like smoke. And then you're smelling like you can't have your child in
Right.
environments, people smoking around them, and if it's on
Yeah.
your clothes and the curtains and stuff smelling like that, that's some heavy smoking. And
Right.
the mother, she was drinking a lot. She was going through some things, but it was like I would have been, in trouble, putting my child in that environment. They looking at me like, ma'am,
Right.
so I couldn't do that. So it was like, it wasn't like I was trying to keep him away from her, but it was like, I can't bring her to your mother's house.
Right.
And it's always some fights or something going on, arguments, drinking and smoking, and then you're in and out of these crack hotels, you're dealing drugs. You're like, what? I don't understand. Like, you can't come. I don't know what to do. And you're still living that life. So, you know what? I let God, and I had to move on from there. So like I said, I pretty much told him in a court hearing that, I remember I told you I stood up and gave him some few silent words, and I had to check that real quick, because that was the beginning of I had to put an end to that cycle, that situation. So from there, Mo, in college, in school, so life, because I was remember I told you I wanted to go to Clark Atlanta and everything, but life had other plans, and so I went to the technical school, because I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get my associates. I wanted, and then I was eventually going to go back to school. I already knew that, but for the time being, I was like, how you just kind of, I wouldn't say settling, but it's like you gotta go do what you can and go where life is taking you and whatever, just kind of like just do what you gotta do, right?
Right.
So go to school, okay, down to the little program after some research or whatever, healthcare, of course. And so I want to say it wasn't too long after. It may have been, I don't know, I hadn't been there that long before I met him, but I want to say shortly after I had started, maybe a month or two, something like that, if not sooner. I met this guy. We were in the same class. And I think we were watching a video or something, or having a class discussion or something like that. I think we were watching a video, and he asked me something. So we started talking about it. So after that, we had exchanged information, and things just went from there. And at that time, what was going on? What was that case? You remember that case? His first name was Brian. He was African American.
Brian Nichols.
Yes, Brian Nichols. Remember he shot up in that courtroom? And okay, so yes, that same day is when we started talking and met in class. And and I was talking about, because I actually was driving the same car that Brian Nichols was driving. And I remember making the joke like, dang, I was like, dang, we drive the same car, same color, same everything. I don't want them, pulling me over or whatever. So we was just talking about
it. Was out for him, boy.
Right. And so, all right, so we started talking whatever, each day, and then it got to where we were hanging out outside of class. it was a mutual friend. He had linked up with another student that went there. You know, they became friends, and her and I became friends. And so she stayed, you know, in an apartment near the school. And so we, you know how you go there after school or whatever, you just hanging out, chilling and stuff like that. And that's how our little thingamajiggy, I don't even know what you want to call it, began. And so he was, at the time, I was only like 22.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 30. So, you know, that age difference being 8 years, it's like, okay, I'm 22, he's 30. With that age, you got a lot more experience in life than I do. Right. I'm just starting out. You know, even though I have a child, it was like, you know, and I'm being an adult, I still haven't faced and gone through the things that you have.
Exactly.
So, but it was my maturity level, you know, that I could have conversation, you know, and understand enough to where, you know, he didn't look at me as like, oh, she a little girl, I can't even talk to her, you know. So, and actually, he was more appealing to me because he was older and it was different. You know, he was different from, of course, my daughter's dad. And so I found out he was, you know, in the, you know, the military of whatever. I forget which, I don't know if it was the Navy or the Air Force. I want to say Navy. I can't really remember, but he was in the military. So we were talking, getting to know one another. And so, he had started kind of coming around, you know, to, you know, in my personal space, like my apartment and things like that. And then at first I didn't have, you know, I wouldn't let my daughter really be around like that, you know, in the beginning. So, you know, it would be more so like if she wasn't there, if she was spending time with another family member and things like that, right? And so, you know, we getting to know each other. And one day after school, the mutual friend, the girl I was telling you about, her and I are in my car, and we were talking about something, and she mentioned, what did she say? She said something like, oh, blah 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 blah, and you know, cause his wife, da 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 da. And I was like, I think I kind of froze, cause like I said, we were driving, leaving out her apartment, so we were like, I remember kind of going up like a little hill. It wasn't really steep, but you had to get out a little hill to turn out. And I remember having my hand on the steering wheel, and I'm like, and it kind of, you know how you kind of take your foot off and a little bit, and the car start rolling back, and you like, and I looked at her and I said, who you talking about? Why? Who you know what you mean? Who you talking? Are you talking about the same guy? And she was like, oh, he didn't tell you he was married? Mo?
Oh, heck no. Oh, see?
I instantly felt hot. I'm talking about hot. And mind you, I had been talking to him and all this for a couple of months at this point. Okay. So again, that's why we were talking about your feelings, and when you into a place where it's hard to come out. Like I was again, it was exciting, it was new feeling, you know, I'm starting to feel refreshed just within myself. And after a few months, you hit me with this? Girl, what are you saying?
Right.
And
like,
so,
wait a minute. Who? You
girl,
sure?
I don't even remember what, like, her response after to me. She looked with total shock. But then she was looking at me like, oh, well, cat's out the bag type look.
Right.
And after that, I remember confronting him because we were all together. Like him and another friend were in the car. We were following, you know, each other. I don't remember when and where we were at the time when I confronted him, but I confronted him and he was like, oh, we're not together. Yes, I'm still legally married. We're not together. He started telling me all this stuff. I mean, making it sound good. Mind you, I'm 22.
Right.
I might be a little mature for my age, but I'm still operating in a 22-year-old's mind. Like I'm doing the best I can. and I don't want to lose the feeling that I'm feeling, you know. I'm feeling, you know, just coming out of that mess, like here we go. You know what? Like what's going on? So then he says, you know, he's saying all this stuff, you know, she's we're not even living together. That's what, because they weren't. And so I was just believing him, but I'm still like, oh my God, like, oh, okay. I was like, forget it. I'm just going, he say whatever. Right. He's getting ready to get a divorce. I'm like, okay. And he was, I remember him looking, trying to get the paperwork, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going along on the ride, you know what I mean? As a 22-year-old. Child. So after a while, his best friend was coming into town for her birthday. Okay. She comes into town and at this point I'm letting him he was using my car for a minute until he got his own car. And so I don't know if he had his car yet or it was mine. I can't remember. Anyway, he had dropped me off at work. I remember getting dropped off at work. Okay. And it's time to come pick me up, right? It's time to come. That's when I was still, remember I was telling you all I was waitressing, making that big, nice money and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm still working there at this time because I'm still in school and I'm working whatever. I'm working there. So he comes and picks me up and he's like, yeah, I'm she tripping. She tripping on me, saying da da da. Obviously, you know, she coming to town thinking she about to hang out with her friend and do stuff, and he must have let her down. He was trying to catch me up on what was going on, because mind you, I've been at work for the past 9 hours. You know? And so And I'm just, and she mad because I had this, whatever. And I told her I got to come pick you up. She wasn't upset about he had to pick me up from work. It was the time in between. And so, that she was mad about. And so, I'm like, well, I don't have no reason. Now I'm dealing with older people. Everybody's older than me. I'm 22. Everybody's 30. Okay? So I'm dealing with grown people. And so I'm just like, well, I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm getting picked up from work. I don't know what happened in the 9-10 hours, but I'm okay. Thank you for picking me up. I'm going home, you know. So she was there, and I allowed, because I told them they could stay, you know, be at the, you know, the apartment, you know, no trouble. They went into trouble and nothing like that, whatever. So, and I remember we got to the apartment, and she was just telling me how clean my apartment was. She was like, you wouldn't even think you had a child. I mean, everything is just in its space. Is, you know, you got everything in place. Like, it doesn't even look like you have a child. And I was like, no. And this was my first time talking to her, because like I said, I had been, you know, at work. And I was like, yeah, I'm a neat freak. You know, I don't like anything out of place. I'm cleaning 24/7. You know, I'm just, I deal with it. It's real. The OCD. Like, I can't, like, I was, you know, having anxiety about it. And, so we was talking a little bit. So, I remember, I think she was going to be down here for a few days. So that led me into meeting another mutual friend of theirs, another female. And it was actually her best friend, you know, mostly her best friend. So I remember going to her house, and she stayed in this nice big house. Now, mind you, when I'm 22, I'm looking at, ooh, I can't wait till I grow up and get this, you know, a nice house like this, and da-da-da-da-da. We hanging out on the deck, the patio. I'm like, ooh, you know, I got older friends I'm involved with. Oh, it was a different life. It wasn't drama like that, you know. You know, the being hit on and, you know, getting your hair pulled and stuff. I mean, I'm just having fun. I'm having my life. I'm raising my daughter. You know, I'm going to school. I'm working. Like, I'm in a different space right now. And so, so I'm over there with them, trying to fit in to where I can fit in, you know, into the conversation. And, you know, from there, you know, I'm meeting more people. So I'm like, wow, you know, I'm feeling special. You know, we're going out of town. Like, I met his family, his mom, like, everybody liked me. Like, I hadn't even thought about his situation. I just left it at that, because he kept looking for, you know, kept talking about the divorce stuff and trying to go through this. So I'm just, like I said, I'm going on a journey. I'm on the ride for now. This is what it is. Okay, so all that's going on, right? And I had kind of developed a little, you know, a little relationship with his best friend, and one that, you know, that had come to town a little, you know, to where enough to where, you know, I would be able to, hey, how you doing? Or if he was on the phone and talking in the background, you know, little stuff like that.
Right.
And so one night, okay, it's a school night. You know, he was at this point, like I said, we months in, and he has met my oldest daughter at this point. So we're months in. And it's nighttime. It's dark. Everyone is sleeping. And all of a sudden, it was late. I don't know if it was around between 10, 12, 1. It could have been later than that. I don't know. all I hear was boom, 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 boom.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, what in the world was that? And I think I got up and I got the door. No, I looked out and it was a female. And I said, you know, I asked her, the people, can I help you or whatever? And she told me who she was. So I opened the door and, no. So when she told me, she said she was, she said she was looking for, you know, blah, blah, blah. She gave his name, whatever. So I opened the door and she was like, yeah, is, so-and-so here, you know, I'm his wife. Oh, Lord, have mercy. So,
Lord,
let me tell you, I did not act out how I was feeling, okay? So, this is what I was feeling and thinking, all right? I was thinking and feeling, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But how my actions and how I was acting came out totally different. I was just acting nonchalant. Like, I was just answering the door like another friend, you know, yeah, he's here. Like, you know, just, yeah, like I'm unbothered, right? That's just the way I roll. You know, that's how I was used to rolling. I ain't about to, what? I'm not about to crack in front of anybody. Are you kidding me? You know? So I was like, yeah. So I told her, you know, 1 second, whatever. Of course, I didn't let her in.
Right.
So I go back and I tell him, your wife at the door.
What was the look on that face? I bet the look on that face was probably
he was like, what? And I said, your wife at the door. I don't know how she knows where I live, but looks like you got something to handle, basically. So I stayed back there. He goes out and then he comes back in, puts on some shoes and say, I'll be right back. I'm getting ready to walk down or whatever. And I'm like, whatever, because I got to go to school in the morning. I don't know what you gonna do, but I'm not about to be tired. Mind you, we go to the same school. So, you know, we was riding together in the morning. So he went down there for a few minutes. It wasn't long. Girl, all of a sudden, he comes storming through the door. Run, time out. They're trying to get me. And I'm like, who? Who's trying to get? They're trying to jump me. Who is trying to jump you?
Oh,
girl,
man.
she had 2 dudes out there. She had 2 other dudes with her. And led him down there so the dudes can jump him. And she knew where I stayed because she followed him, girl. She followed him. She followed him. So after that, I'm up. Because, of course, I'm not going back to sleep so somebody can come and shoot up through my apartment. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So, at this point, I'm triggered. Because now, again, I've been through the mess. People following me. People, you know, all types of just chaos. And here you are bringing it back. And I was, at that moment, I was done, but I wasn't done still. I'm too far in. I have allowed my emotions and my feelings to go too deep into this, even though I was so upset, right? They ended up leaving for a while. You know how you kind of gauge and they gone and da-da-da-da-da. So morning comes up or whatever. He tells his best friend about it. And I remember talking to her. Now, this was the start of us, talking where, I was would talk to her if he put me on the phone with her or whatever. So I'm telling my side of the story and what happened, and she was like, oh my God, like it was just a mess. So after that, we got past that. She ended up moving down to Georgia, and we started to become closer, me and his best friend. So, and he stayed with her. He stayed with her for a minute until he got, his own place. So when I would, hang with him, going to their side of town, I would be hanging out with her too. And that is what helped, develop our relationship. And I remember one day, she said, she was like, yeah, because, at first I'm like, he got this young girl, he messing with this young girl and blah, 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 and something. And she was like, and one day she was like, we were sitting around and I was like, because you know how you had them colored contacts? So I had, at the time, I had colored contacts, just playing around with different looks. I mean, I'm 22,
Right.
And she said to me, she was like, when I said, why you got them contacts in your eyes? You don't need them contacts. And then I replied back. Now this why we sitting around talking one day, and she was like, when I said that, you came back with, well, why you got that blue nail polish on your toes? And then she was like, when you said that, and then I made another comment talking about, just she's like people, and I don't know if it was people in general, but it was basically she was like exerting like not anger, but like just like on some the hell with people or life or and I came back with some, like, I think I said something like, word, like for real. So she was like, when I said that, she it was like instant, like, okay, I can hang with her, you know what I mean? I can, okay, I see what he see, I see what he's seeing her or whatever, And so our relationship just started to build and build and build. And I was still fooling around with him. It was she was kind of schooling me too. Like, she was even telling me, don't be available for him. Like, right away. I mean, she was telling me all kind of stuff. Like, this is her best friend. And, but she was looking out for me. Like, I'm another female, and I'm young. And so, so then after a while, time goes by, and I have been trying to call him, no response, no nothing, girl, no nothing. I mean, this was after him popping up in my class with flowers and stuff for Valentine's Day, and yeah, he was doing taking me shopping. I mean, doing all that kind of stuff. Right. And one night, girl, I either text her or I called her, and all she said was, Kai, go live your life. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I hadn't been able to get a response from him. Go live your life. She said,
that was enough said.
Yes, he left. Girl, he left the state and went back fooling around with his wife. But wait a minute. But before that, I'm sorry, let me back up. Because now I promised myself I would not hold back, because this is not to just tell a story. This is to help people. So I want to tell everything. I don't want to hold back. Before that happened, I had gotten pregnant.
Okay.
And we decided, I told him about it, and it was decided that I wasn't going to keep it. And so when I made that decision, I had become very distant from friends for a minute, for a hot second, because I was getting ready to go through something I never thought I would go through, and something I really, really didn't want to do. And I was so torn, Mo. I was so torn. So I got depressed. Ended up going to the clinic, because like I said, I had just set my mind on, I just couldn't have another child, and I was upset at myself for even putting myself in that situation to even have to make this decision, first of all. And I'm not judging anyone else out there, but for me, I'm speaking for me. I felt like that was irresponsible of me. So
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
I was in the clinic, and I remember going back, and I cried whenever they brought me back to the room and got me situated. I remember just tears. I didn't make a sound, but tears started running down my face, just flowing without me even making a facial expression. I think, you know how you just in a blank stare? I just remember being in a blank stare. And I started crying. And I remember one of the nurses came and wiped my face with some tissue. She didn't say, and I think she did ask me one question. She kind of whispered to me, was I sure? Was I sure of, did I want to go through it? And I remember I stayed in that blank stare, and I shook my head yes. And I just remember praying, Mo. I just remember praying for God to forgive me. But I just couldn't, I was 22. I was in school already, having to grow up with one child. And I was like, I can't, but I was just asking for God to forgive me for being so irresponsible, just because at the end of the day, it's like, I could have prevented that from happening, and I didn't. And now I'm in this situation. And I just remember praying that he would take this seed and restore it into another life, because I was just so hurt, Mo. I just felt numb. And I think I did that to try to protect myself as much as I could. And after that, you know, it was done, and I was just so outdone. And I remember he came and picked, he was, you know, of course he was driving me, and his friend, his best friend was actually, I think she was in the car. Was she in? I remember her being in the car. I think she was, but I didn't talk the whole time. I didn't say anything. And I got dropped off because I had moved out of my apartment, and I was moving. My lease was up in just enough time because my mother was actually getting ready to undergo a surgery, a big surgery. And so I just moved back home instead of finding, because I wanted to find somewhere else to move. So instead of doing that, I just moved back home for a minute. Actually, me and my sister were there, had came back at the same time so we could help take care of her, because it was going to be at least 6 months. So we was like, we might as well stay here, you know, so we can be here, you know, just save some more money. Might as well just save some more money and, you know, take care of mom. You know, both of us still in school and working, whatever. So we just did that so it can be easier on us. And then so I think my mom knew, but we never discussed it, even to this day. You know how I couldn't talk about it, Mo. I couldn't talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it. I just felt wrong. I just felt so wrong. Like everything about me was just wrong. I just felt wrong. And so I got out the car, and I went into, you know, my room there, and I just got in the bed and turned the TV on, because I couldn't sit in just deep silence either. And I remember crying until I fell asleep. And so after that, not too long after that, maybe some months later, that's when he just up and left without even telling me. I mean, like, how do you do that? And that's when his friend, she was just like, that she told me. She had to tell me. And while he was gone, our friendship just never stopped. We just became like, I was her little sister. Like, we were friends. We had a lot in common. I'm talking, you know, even down to our favorite color being purple. And we just had so much in common, so much to talk about. And, you know, from there, we even started living in the same apartment complex. And I would go to her house, she would come to mine. I mean, we had just became close. And the other mutual friend was staying because where we stayed, it was a lot of apartments. You know how you have neighborhoods on a strip or a street and everything? It was in that, you know, that type of area. And so he was across the street from our gate. His apartment complex was across the street. And so he was there. So I had both of his friends there, you know, connecting with them. And it was just crazy. It was like, I don't know. And then she was just updating me because she would still talk to him I think she ended up talking to him, and again, she would just mention, we would just talk about, you know, the drama that happened. And then, after that, not too long after that, he contacts me. After, this was probably, was it a year later or almost a year? I can't remember. He contacted me. I don't know if he called, email. I can't remember all of that. And he started telling me about the drama that was going on between him and the wife. And you know, at that point, I was like, nobody is coming around my daughter, not even a little bit like he did. Like, it's just not happening.
Right.
And girl, he came back into town, saw my new place. You know, I was being stupid again. And oh no, this is how it happened. I know how he contacted me again. I was having my 25th birthday party, and another friend that I had met in school, we had the same birthday, same day. And we threw a party at a sports club for our birthday. Halloween, you know, our birthday, October 19th. So we threw a Halloween themed birthday party. Everybody had on costumes or whatever. Of course, his best friend, who is my friend as well, comes, and she brings her best friend. So they come to the party and everything, and after a while, she slips me an envelope and said, so-and-so, won't say his name, he told me to give this to you. Now, mind you, this was maybe a couple of years later at this point. I think if I was turning 25, yeah, it had to be. She slips me the envelope and said, he told me to give this, he sent, you know, wanted me to get this letter to you. And she was like, I didn't want to give it to you, but, you know, here it is. Girl. I took the letter later on that night, read it, and that's how he started. You know, I let him back into my life after that, being crazy. And girl, he just... I don't even... We just stopped. You know, I was going up there where he was, visiting him, and, you know, we were, you know, renting hotels, like doing all that kind of stuff, and I had even met his kids at the time, the ones, because he's had more since, you know, whatever, but doing stuff for them, and it was like I just felt used and abused.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And it just died off. Like, the time that he did come to visit me in my apartments where him and, you know, his best friend lived, I remember him even saying he didn't even want me to tell her that he was there in town. And I didn't tell her until later. I think he was already gone, I think. I don't know. But, you know, it was just so much sneaking around, and it was just not what I imagined for myself.
Right.
Because mind you, I'm getting older. I'm moving closer to 30. I'm 25 at this point. So I'm learning some things. And I remember 4th of July. 4th of July. It was that same year. No, it was the following year. And I met, I didn't meet. I got a call out of the blue from my middle school sweetheart, who is now my husband. Out the blue. And this was after I had done a parade and everything. So that night he called, and he ended up coming over, seeing where I stayed or whatever, and we were talking, and I allowed him to come upstairs and talk because my oldest child, she wasn't there at the time. She was spending time again with some family. Because, see, I remember, mind you, I told you, I never had company if my child was at home. If she was at home, then that wasn't happening.
Right.
So, come up, we talking, in the living room, and I'm telling him, I'm giving, updating him on my life and what was going on, and vice versa. We catching up from over the years, and what happened after that? I got scared. I actually got scared because I wasn't all the way over that whole situation.
Right, which is expected.
And then now I have this past love coming, who was, always a good friend to me before anything. And I'm like, dog, I don't know. And so we started talking on the phone like day in and day out, every single day. And he ended up moving to Texas, which another reason why we started talking every single day, because he was helping his mom or whatever with his sister and things like that. And so we started talking, and for a few months I already knew him, but I didn't really know him,
right.
Because we separated. You were living life, I was living life. I don't know, what has changed, what has, so
right.
we trying to get to know each other, making sure, and right. So one day we decided to, we made it an official relationship. And so that it was that October. And so he had sent me money for my birthday, for my birthday gift and things like that. And that following January, I flew to Texas to come, visit with him, his mom, and everybody. And we just catching up because, like I said, we knew each other from childhood. So, you know how that is. And so I stayed there for about a week or close to a week. And then he moved back. Like when I left, he left. So I didn't fly back. We drove. Me, him, and his son. And the crazy thing about it, while we were talking, my daughter, she just, you know how you can hear when your parents on the phone talking to someone, and you hear your parents say the same, and you kind of see how your parent lights up and happy and doing all that. So she started to catch on to things like that. I mean, she's 5 at this point. Yeah, she had just turned 5. And it's like one day I'm on the phone with him and she goes, can I talk? Can I talk? Can I talk to Brian? Can I talk? And I'm like, huh? I'm like, you know, kind of hesitant. She was like, I want to talk, mommy. You know, mommy, can I talk? So I'm like, okay, I just want to say hi. So, and that's when it started, when I put her on the phone. And she would take that phone and she'd be walking around the house and walking into her room. And so and so and so and so. And this and this and that. And I have this in my room, and I have this in my bathroom, and this and that, and this and that. I'm like, give me the phone. So, I mean,
he did not talk to me. Thank
right. So that's how they kind of, you know, started building their relationship. And he moved back, and it was like an instant little family. You know, the kids were the same age. They got along. And that's how, you know, that's how it started. And I'm going to mention this, and we'll start to wrap things up, because like I mentioned before, this is a series. We will be wrapping the series up. Just FYI, but I'm gonna leave with this. He moves in, and you know, we already making plans to, you know, get out, because it's like, you know, with the apartment not big enough, and we need more space now, and we're we're connecting. Like I you know how you have that feeling, you know, because he, even when we were young, he had his stuff going on, but he always treated me like I didn't have any problems with him. He didn't give me that type of drama, you know what I mean? And even up through the years, he would always try to get in contact with me. But I won't go into that. I'll go into that with the next one as we're wrapping things up. But like I said, I'm going to leave with this here. He, as we're getting settled in, I do get the previous guy, Mr. 30-year-old, who is well over 30 now. He gets in contact with me, and I'm just like, I get a bit more. He's getting to me again a little bit. He's getting to my heart a little bit. He
knew what to come to say all the time.
Right.
That's
right.
what that was.
Right. And I'm going to leave at that. And this is after he has moved. My now husband has moved in with his child, with us and our child. We're making, you know, things official. Everybody is getting along. This is happening at this point. And yeah, I'ma leave it at that. I'ma leave it at that. You know, Mo, just talking about the things that I have gone through and listening to your story, you know, the things that you have gone through. I never thought that I would be sharing my story, let alone having, you know, starting a podcast to where, you know, like I said, not only sharing my story, but coming together with others to share their story on this platform as well. I never thought. And the reason why is because I was always afraid of being judged, afraid of what people would say if, you know, if I talked about my mistakes, choices I made, decisions I made, whatever, however you want to put it. I was just so afraid, so much afraid. And now, instead of being afraid, I'm actually, you know, I'm thinking about other people. Even though this is my experience, this is my story, this is your experience, this is your story that we are sharing. This is for other people. We are supposed to go through these things so we can help the next person. That is how life is supposed to be. Matter of fact, our generation is supposed to be helping the next generation behind us that's coming after us. And they're supposed to help the generation that's coming after them. The generation before us is supposed to be helping us. We are supposed to be teaching and helping each other through these I'll say experiences, these life experiences. You know, because we a lot of times we feel like we're alone. We feel like we don't have anyone to turn to. We feel like life is just not on our side. And we have to stress that we have to start getting out of that. And people feel that way because of how the world is, because what people, you know, say out of their mouth each and every day. They're judging people. I'm gonna say we, because as a whole, we as a society, we don't know anything else to do but to judge people. And we're doing that. And you know why we're judging? Because we're hurt. We're hurt too. So misery loves what? Misery loves company.
All day long.
And it's like, okay, well, all right, Kai. You say that you're scared to speak your truth, to show people who you really are, because you're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of what somebody has to say. Okay, well, how about this? Anyone who judges you, look at it in this way. Like I said, everybody is going through something. When I was judging people, me judging, I was only doing that because I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't happy within myself. I wasn't trying to learn from my experiences. I was just blaming people. I didn't want to see myself. You know what I mean? Just putting the blame on other people, or just finding something to criticize someone else about.
Right. Yep.
And that's what helped me to become unafraid and unapologetic. I'm not going to apologize for, me being me going through what I had to go through. You know what? I wouldn't even take it back, because when I look back, God brought me to it to bring me through it, and that's what He did. And like I said, we're not done with this series. We're getting down to the wire. We're wrapping it up, but this is for the people to hear. Somebody needs to hear our stories. Somebody needs to go out there and start learning from their experiences, so they can do what? Take the baton that we're passing, and they can go out, run with it, and go pass it to somebody else who's hurting. And it just kills me, Mo. It just kills me. It kills me how we treat everybody, how we treat one another. I'm sorry.
But unfortunately, this world is set up on the me world. It's all about me. So
yeah. And what you can get, and what you can get. It's about greed. It's about materialistic things. Who has the most? Keeping up with the Joneses. And no, we have to talk about it. I just shared something. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't shared this with my family. I shared for the first time with my sister. My sister, who I tell pretty much everything to. And she just found out a few days ago. A few days ago.
Yeah, because that comes from worrying about what people gonna think of it. Because your family be the first one to tear you down out of anybody.
Yeah.
From a complete total stranger. Your family be the first one to criticize you and just tear you down real quick, unfortunately. So that's why it takes a long time for you to even tell your family. It's a lot of stuff that my sister don't know about me or whatever. A lot of stuff that I've done that she just don't know. And it's because, you just don't want to hear the criticism. Or it may not even be no criticism, but that's just what you anticipate because it's your family. And your family just does that.
Do you think...
it sucks.
It does. But do you think as far as, so you stated, family criticize you the most, and which we all, that's just a common general topic that comes up, how families be the first ones, to come at you. Do you think it's because they feel they have a right to, because they're family?
Yeah, they feel like they have the right to be the one criticizing. And then too, it be your family, the biggest ones that hate to see you exceed, or get ahead, or make a mistake then get ahead. They be the worst ones to want to see you progress, because more than likely they still stuck in some place and they wish that they coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Right. Instead of supporting you and motivating you. That all goes back to you. When you worry about you, when you worry about your path and God's plans for you, you're not worrying about the next person. Because if you're following that path, guess what? You are finding, trust me, there is no way that you're following your path and you're not finding happiness within yourself and confidence. And now, I'm not saying it happens overnight. No. It does not happen overnight. And we're gonna get into this stuff. It is my duty, and I so much appreciate you, helping me with this, coming on here on this podcast and speaking and talking, because I'm pretty sure, we're going to get even more comfortable, expressing ourselves, and, things are just going to come out. Things are going to come out. This is what it's for. We're not talking from a script. We're not talking. I'm not trying to downplay scripts, but this is raw. This is what it is. Here it is. Life is not always roses and cotton candy and ice cream and cakes and lollipops. And I'm sorry, we don't live. We look. The Care Bears are not our neighbors. This is not what life looks like. It's not. It's not. We got to stop all that. We got to stop letting social media, get us all stressed and depressed. Now, I personally, social media I was never bothered, by social media like that. That's just something.
And that's because of the era that we grew up in. Like, we didn't grow up in a take a lot of technology and all that kind of stuff where it just kind of dictates and plays on our life.
Right. So these kids were born into it. We weren't born into it.
Right. Yeah. We weren't. So social media doesn't really impact me like it does a lot of people. I ain't gonna say like some people our age is very much impacted by social media. Very much so.
Because they see the beauty. They're only seeing what people are not gonna. A lot of times people are not posting. Now, some people do. Well, they'll let you know right up. They're up front on social media. I mean, they will let you know. But a lot of times, 90 to 95%, people are just posting what they want you to see. What, that the happiness and everything. I personally don't post, unpleasant things like I'm sad or depressed. That's just, I'm talking here on the platform. I have a platform, to express. I use my social media for happy times, for motivation. Now, I'm going to get real, like say something, that somebody might need to see that day, letting other people run over you, making sure you set boundaries. Like I'll say stuff like that. But a lot of times I'm just posting pictures like, like today I posted one like, hey, I'm probably feeling myself, I'm probably feeling myself a little bit, but you know what? Self-love, self-care. I don't care what anybody has to say. You know what I mean? Because guarantee it's going to be more people supporting you than it is judging you. You know what I mean? Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody doesn't like everybody. Everybody don't like me. Okay, I don't care. I don't particularly care for, other people. I mean, I respect them as another imperfect human being. But and it's not even that. For me, it's not even about, I don't like them. I don't like them. For me, it's more of, they don't necessarily rock how I rock, but, that's them. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's them. So I'm not even sitting up here judging people out because I'm not that person anymore. I can look back and reflect and be like, girl, like, how did you even have friends? How did you even have people that wanted to be your friend? How? You know what I mean? I asked myself that, I've done all that, but, we gotta stop judging. But guess what? everybody's not gonna change. So we gotta, expect that too. People are we can't change the world.
Right.
You're gonna have those ones. I mean, look, the devil used to go to church. I'm saying, girl, the devil used to go to church.
Okay.
The devil was one of God's most beautiful angels. Like he was he was doing it too. So look, and he hasn't changed
at all.
So look, just keep it real. That's all, I'm trying to promote on top of, just being an advocate for mental health. Is part of mental health, like I stated earlier, it's a journey. It is a journey. This is something that you practice every single day. It's every single day. It's not, okay, I got it, I'm good. No.
Right. Yep.
Let's just do better. For the ones that just need to see the light, hint, hint, seeing light through darkness, gotta lead the way. So I appreciate you, Mo, sharing. I'm sad Tia couldn't join us this evening, but that's okay. Something came up, so we missed her this evening. We missed you, Tia. We missed you.
I know.
All right. Well, it was a joy. It was a pleasure as always. This is so therapeutic for me, Mo. I enjoy talking to you ladies. I really do. But we're dedicated. We're taking time out. We have families, guys, but this is important too. So, Mo, did you want to say some last minute words or whatever before we get off of here?
Like I always say, when it just comes to other people, and I know emotions get involved and all of that, and sometimes you can't help it, but sometimes research who you're getting involved with first. Don't just jump in with 2 feet. Don't be so trusting, because people take that as a weakness sometimes, and that's how you get hurt. So that is what I would have to say.
So pretty much just have some boundaries set and protect your peace. Yeah, protecting your peace. Yeah.
Protect your peace, protect you or whatever. And if you just feel something ain't right, speak up. Don't just go with the flow. And sometimes, you don't even realize you're going with the flow until it's too late. But just don't go with the flow. All the time, it ain't okay to go with the flow. Sometimes it's okay to upset folks. Because then you upset folks and you let people know that you ain't finna just roll over and take anything.
Right.
So, yeah. And that may be hard for some people because, a lot of people just don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
But sometimes, in order to protect yourself, sometimes you got to ruffle some feathers. Sometimes you're going to make people mad along the way. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you are okay before anybody else.
Mm-hmm. And it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Like sticking up for yourself. I agree with what you're saying, when you have to ruffle some feathers, because at the end of the day, it should be, a lesson for that person too. You're just trying to, hey, I have to protect myself. I have to protect myself, protect my heart, protect my emotions, protect my peace and everything. And, what you're doing and how you treat me or how you do me. Hey, like, this is what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like you said, is sometimes I don't like confrontation either, but I'm down with it now. Like, if I have to ruffle some feathers, I have to. But it's not only is it how you say it. It's kind of like when to, like, you don't want, it's think before you act. Just think. Don't act on emotion, because 9 times out of 10 you act on emotion. Now you're in an argument, and what has got accomplished? Nothing, because you got hollering, you got screaming, you got all this stuff going on. Just don't, I'm mad, I'm about to go. No, process it, sit with it for a minute, sit with it, get your emotions in check, get everything in check, and then get to a place where you can see the situation, evaluate the situation, and then make your move, speak up, do what you need to do from there. But yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. So, well, yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback off of you, Mo. I pretty much said what I had to say, but I do want to add, I mentioned this before, but follow your path. Matter of fact, follow your road. Not even staying in your lane. Get off that road. Get off the exit. Get off. Find whole nother road to travel, which is yours. Your own two-way, four-way, whatever. Your road with your name on it. Follow it. Stick to it. Don't worry about what somebody has to say. I'm going to keep stressing this every time. We have got to stop worrying about what other people think or say. Speak up for yourself. Advocate for yourself. Who cares? That should be your motto. Who cares? I know we don't care. We don't care about Mo and I don't care about what, somebody doesn't like our content, doesn't like our show. Everything is not for everybody. Guess what will happen? I'm not listening to them anymore. Cool. Move on. You don't have to down talk anybody. You don't have to start judging people. If it's not your thing, don't listen. And that's for people that have other podcasts, YouTube channels in there. Everything isn't for everybody. So don't be afraid. Don't stop being a people pleaser. Please yourself. Happiness starts within. Only thing somebody can do is add the key word. You plus another person. You already have happiness. If you have happiness already, you're good. But you have plus happiness, that's more abundance right there. More. But nobody can do it for you. Stop trying to cheat. Look at yourself, face yourself, change what you need to change. Speak up. Help somebody else. Speak up. I don't care if you went to jail. I don't care if you did 10 years, and if you're a changed person and you're living an honest life and you made some mistakes and you're out, go out and tell your story. I don't care. I don't care if you had an affair or you had a mistress or you were going around, just hurting people's feelings, talking back. I don't care what it is. If you are an honest, changed person, meaning your heart, because God knows your heart. So people can, I changed. Okay. Because actions speak louder than words. And if you need to go into isolation, go in that hermit mode and start doing that work and that shadow work to come out and be a better you, then that's what needs to happen. But don't be afraid to tell your story and to speak up to help other people out there. Stop. We have to stop being afraid. We have to stop being afraid. Anybody wants to talk, let them talk. Let them talk. You got a lot of fools. You got a lot of fools out here running their damn mouth. So it won't be the first time and it won't be the last time. They out here to this day running their mouth, constantly running, judging, and ain't got nothing. But don't let people like that stop you. How you gonna let somebody stop you from doing you? Yeah, let me talk like that. You gonna allow another imperfect human being stop you from doing what you gotta do, from handling your business? They have that much control over you. Let's start looking at it like that. Don't give them that control. Don't give them that control. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. All right.
So true.
I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to keep stressing it. I'm going to keep stressing it. So, all right, we are going to get out of here for the evening. It's been so real. It's been so good to talk. And like always, just love, peace, and light. We will see y'all next time.